Huh? This will come up. Slowly. Everyone's on the way up. Where's the university? Let's go there. Let's go there. This is the Queen's Park right here. Yeah. Queen's Park.
There's just one place I haven't been. Tamping the gas and roller, man. Soon we're gonna be there, man. Soon we're gonna be there.
Well, that's perfect. Yeah. I mean, I've been to small games, but yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
With MailChimp, you can guide customers along the path to purchase with our customer journey.
About the follow.
Speaker's Corner. If anyone wants to say anything? Hello.
Has everyone seen the butthole on the horse? Look at it. It's after you see it, you can't unsee it, and so you'll always see it from. Does anyone who know who that guy is?
The man or the horse?
Is it Stalin? That's all I wanted to say. Oh, there's a legend that if you're having problems conceiving, if you touch the butthole, you will have a son.
Thank you. Anybody?
Queen's Park.
Glorious and free.
Type in the link.
Glorious and free.
Yeah, just go Toronto.
Well, it's kind of funny. You come out,
Toronto
you
protest.
spend 5 days at driving. Okay, that's what I did. Come out here. This is my family.
We're all family.
Hey,
We're all family.
this was a joyous day going out there for a walk and absolutely enjoying our freedoms. To me, you can't paint a picture. Seriously. All I can say right now is if we don't have this kind of movement throughout Canada, we won't have those freedoms. So at all points in our life, we should be joining in at all costs, supporting what the truckers have given us. I believe it's an entrance, it's an opening for us to take that torch and go throughout Canada. I've got children, I've got grandchildren, and that's why I'm here. You know, to share something. And I know a lot of people that went to Ottawa got something. And to me, it was like a spark of hope. Don't let that dim out. Any of your friends that had that piece of history that has just gone right back to the couch, who are losing hope again, pick them up, man. Seriously. We've lost so many people to sicknesses and illnesses because of the division. This division, and I've heard many cases, grandparents who are sickly ill that end up in the hospital dying because their family can't go into these systems and give and outpour love. So please, whatever you do, even if it seems like it's a waste of time, plant that seed, stoke that fire, get that fire raging. This is what Canada's about, right? We're all together in on this. So, again, I heard that 2 words, hold the line. Hold that line. At all costs, freedom might not be free next week. So whatever you do your testimony, share as much as you got out of this and through these weeks of knowing what the truckers gave us. Okay? Again, they are a benchmark to this historical event. And you're all amazing people. You all have a great story. So come on up, share it. Okay, come on. Come on. Okay? Yeah, okay, you too. Come on over here. You got a voice. Seriously, we all got a voice. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just like to say, we have the saints, the people who are now in prison. God bless them and God keep them because they're suffering. They're the saints of Canada, and for the generations to come, everybody who's been arrested in Ottawa will be proclaimed as the saints and savior of Canada, and they'll be honored by their generations. That's all I have to say.
Wow, thanks for sharing your stories, and that's as simple as we can make it, right? Like, don't forget your humanity, don't forget to keep your communication lines open. We all look different, but I think people need the freedom of mobility to make it simple. I've been wording it like that. Get so political with family. It's like, hey, you're my brother, you're my dad. What else? Why am I saying this? So we can start enjoying events and, just speaking about that, I was just thinking my grandfather who I went to the Thousand Islands, a beautiful place in Canada, and he was about to go back home, but he said, well, you don't have to come hang out with your old grandpa. He's not cool anymore. Like, you can go hang out with your friends if you want to. And I thought, no, it's sad to never see you, right? You live in Australia. So I was like, I'll come hang out with you. And he's like, what should I dress like? He put his hat on backwards. He's like, am I cool yet? Put some gel in his hair. Am I cool yet? You were always cool. So anyway, I go down to Thousand Islands, a beautiful place, you know, where people's driveway is like a plane with boat legs. It's like an amazing, beautiful place. And I'm glad I did that. And then after that, I had never saw him. That was my last memory because he had passed on. So I was just very thankful that, you know, I had the choice to just hang out with my family, and family day's coming soon. And he did a lot of community work in Sydney, Australia. That's what my family down there are doing. Australia's going through some hard times, growing pains right now. But he was also an Olympic torchbearer of Sydney 2000 Olympics, and it really made me proud, the fact that he was like 70 plus, literally walking with a torch in his hand. The reason for the torch in his hand, because of the community work that he did in New South Wales to help, you know, early newcomers to Australia integrate themselves. So he was recognized enough for that, and got to hold the Olympic torch, and you know, the convoy and such things like that is like a living, you know, we're here to live our lives, and if you can inspire in any way, pass on a legacy, some kind words to someone who can't see the light or hold the candle, just remind you to do that. It's not all about how loud you are, who's right? Just people are amazing when they really set their intentions towards each other. So, thank you. It's funny because now people are back and it's like, oh, we're going to pack it up now. Oh, they all came back. Yeah. My other uncle, who's the son of Jose, and that was always fun as a kid. I could literally say, I don't want to do that. No way, Jose. That's your name. But my other uncle, Junior, he's got some medals from New South Wales too, continuing the community work in Australia. So off the top of my head, I think maybe I should actually reach out to them and ask them what's going on in their parliament in New South Wales, because it's tough to get the news coming through clearly in a different country, right? Yeah, like... Oh yeah, I wanted to share, because people are asking me where do I go, and I found Getter.com, if you know about that. It's another version of Twitter. Mr. Malone directed people to go there if he's getting censored too much. Inventor of the mRNA technology. So Malone and other people who are getting canceled, you might want to check out Getter.com for another alternative source of social media.
Thanks. Hot mic, hot mic. Come on over.
We need our jobs back. A lot of people working here, hardworking Canadians, have lost their jobs, their livelihoods, their family connections, their friends. We need to be more united together and living as Canadians, being free in the sovereign land in this country. I was working at a restaurant there, young in college, and I seen you guys there, standing for freedom, for our values and rights as Canadians. And I love the idea that we as Canadians, we live in this sovereign land, in this nation, that we can support each other and have work within this country together as Canadians and care for each other. I got laid off, and I got laid off twice at a restaurant, and For all the people who have got laid off, I hope they stand for their freedom and rights as Canadians, and we could work together and care for each other.
Thank you. Windy. It's beautiful today, though. Yesterday was cold. Speaker's Corner. Anyone would like to say anything?
I just got a few words, guys. Thank you for coming, for the support. My parents brought me here from Poland in 1989. This is around the time when Poland was breaking free from communist. So I came to this country for freedom, and that's why I'm here. And I'm gonna keep standing for my freedom, because the reason why my parents brought me here is so that way we have freedom of choice, and the government, doesn't force us to do anything. So that's why I'm here.
Poproszę piwo teraz. Duck. I used to have a Polish girlfriend that worked for Toronto Star, and every Thanksgiving I'm like, what is everyone saying? I think I'm learning Polish through osmosis here. But that was a joke. I'm glad you laughed at that. I asked him, what's a joke guaranteed to make a Polish person but wait a bit.
You can piss off.
That's
I just wanted to say, let's not stop this. Let's continue this. And try and get going in other places. It's a General Assembly. The Vikings used to have an all thing. The all thing was how they solved the grievances between families. The families would come together basically around a rock, big rock, and one of the families that had a grievance would go up and say something to the crowd about their issue. And then it would be worked out basically with the people around, the family in the crowd, and the family that has the grievance. And then everyone has to keep their promises to one another, because there will be another all thing, and neighbors are always watching. So that's how the Vikings are doing it. So this is basically how the Vikings did it. We would just come together in the public square to talk about it, face to face, so we can see people's faces, so we can see their body language and look in their eyes and see the passion when they talk about Trudeau or Indigenous people or other Canadians, your neighbors. So we need to come together and keep on trucking. Yeah, truck, yeah. Anybody? No, I intentionally didn't do anything before this because people may come by to potentially sabotage something like this. So I wanted to keep it very quiet until it happened.
How can we find out where we're gonna go next?
This is just basically going to be it, and marching, I suppose. Yeah, Saturdays and Sundays here in front of this statue here in this spot at noon. Saturdays, Sundays. If I'm not here, Jason will be here. If Jason's not here, there will be a sign here, because I'm a reliable person, and I will be here on time. But if I'm not here, there will be a sign in place, and keep it up.
You're never alone.
Go to Long and McQuaid and get this little guy, this speaker, and a mic, and a cable. And you just, so easy. It's so easy.
Thanks you both for.
It's funny. It's like multiple times it's like, so are you one of the organizers for this? I'm like, no. I just came here with a microphone. With Claire. She's more.
We got to come together, yeah. Unite. Yes. Speaker's Corner. If anyone wants to say something, speak their mind, let's hear your voice. All right. Next week. All right, my friends. Freedom! Strong and free!
All right, guys, I just have a quick little joke here. I see some kids here. Thanks for the kids. We love you all. It's important to stand up for your country at any age. Love your country, love your family. We're all beautiful. Anyways, back to the joke. I'm going to keep this PG for the kids. Who can upset Trudeau? Jerry can.
Jerry can. Good old Jerry. Good old Jerry.
I call him Justin.
I like that guy. He's a good guy.
Justin can.
Justin can. So, anybody want to talk? Speak out your mind. Speak your mind. You have a voice. You have a voice. Speak your mind. Your heart. I want to hear your heart.
So I just remember having one experience. I was at work. I'm a dishwasher near Young in College. So not much customers are coming in the restaurant. I'm just like, what do I do with my time? There's not much I could really do. You know, some of the servers are just there and they're just like, okay, one of us is going to have to go home tonight. And I'm just like, oh, that's terrible, you know. I think all of you guys are cool to be there, you know, during the evening and nighttime. For one of you guys to have to go home just because, you know, the boss calls you in. It's just like, yeah, you know. You got to be there, and then you just get sent home early, you know. You're there maybe 4 or 5 hours maximum, and then boom, you're gone, you know. You just check everything you got to do first before you're gone, and then you're gone. And yeah, it's kind of bad, you know. You're just like, even if you're like a grunt worker, you're thinking in your mind, well, I'm seeing my other coworkers leaving work early, and some of them have to travel really, really far, you know. Like sometimes they have to travel like hour and a half, 2 hours deep in Scarborough just to get to downtown Toronto. So I hope that these mandates are gone, you know, these so-called vaccine passports. I don't see the benefit of us needing these things because it just causes segregation, discrimination.
They had that during communism.
Yes,
I had a red book. My mom showed me the other day.
Yeah.
I had a little red book. To get diapers, she had to go get a stamp on her passport.
Unbelievable. A stamp on your passport? To get a stamp on their passport for diapers. That's...
So you get the stamp, then you go to the place where you get the diapers, and then they look at your passport, they see the stamp, and they give you the diapers.
I would not think that would be imaginable in a society of Canada.
To show them how you voted.
Yeah, and the votes too. Like, what happened to half of Canadians' votes?
Standing in line for food, you know, like, because the shelves are empty.
That sounds like...
So if shortages do come our way...
Yeah. That's another thing. I work part-time at Loblaws, work during the midnight, Sunday night, Monday night, but this weekend coming up, it's a long weekend. So Sunday night, tonight, I don't have to work. So I'm really glad for that. And then Monday is family day. But when I go to work and I see my shipment come in at 3:30 a.m., when I usually want to see the shipment arrive at like 11 p.m., and I see like 4 tiny pallets, you know, tall pallets. For me, it's a lot. Goes into the aisle. I kind of want to ask Mike, the loading dock guy, like, hey, man, why'd you bring it to the aisle? You should just put it in the dairy cooler, you know? But, hey, without our truckers, without our God-blessed heroic truckers, I wouldn't have a job working at the grocery store. The shipment would come in. I'd just be standing around, not being able to do much at work. So God bless our truckers.
God bless the truckers.
They give us our jobs. They're supporting our freedoms right now. And I think every Canadian should be supporting our truckers.
Amen, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone like to speak?
Freedom!
Freedom! Freedom from tyranny. Tyranny. Freedom!
Thank you for your support. We love you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Just peaceful. Be here every weekend.
We are Canadians. We are free. We are free.
Strong and free.
Thank you all. Thank you all for coming.
I love that the anthem is coming like back into people's lives so beautifully.
Yeah, I'm just learning the words.
Singing it, and you're singing it again. And you're like, glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Woo! Ow! Yeah, everyone should be singing our anthem.
Katon frase por telefe. Everyone now. Oh, where's the French speakers?
I thought he was doing a Polish
How many of all you guys know about the Great Reset? And,
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. The Great Reset. It is, yeah. Right, and Davos and what goes on there.
This is all leading us to the social credit system. That's what I read. That the vaccines are a way to lead us into the social credit system.
Yeah, because that's what the QR code will become. It's going to become this. Like,
No, thank you. No.
QR codes are for products.
Yes. We're not numbers.
Did anyone see the thing the other day where in Parliament someone tried to raise the issue of like Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, and then the speaker or like the volume went down? Then they all of a sudden they said, oh, sorry, we can't hear the question. Oh, the audio's and then someone else gets up and goes, this is misinformation, and then like don't need to ask any questions about that, right? Like if it was really above board, wouldn't they simply answer the question, go, oh, it's not what you think it is, and yada yada yada, but instead they avoid it being talked about.
Do you want the mic?
No, it's okay. I would feel weird holding it.
They basically acted like the World Health Organization when they were asked about Taiwan.
Yeah.
When they're asked about Taiwan.
Yeah, when they asked the World Health Organization about Taiwan, he's like, he even contradicted himself in his excuses. He was just like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you at all or whatever. And then he was like, oh, the mic is broken. Like, he said that in the wrong order, basically. It was like, I thought you said you couldn't hear me or whatever. Like,
it happens a lot in the Tudor direct
conversation.
Sorry, we're losing you.
Yeah, sorry, we don't have time anymore. We got to cut to international commercials.
Yeah, or perhaps, I don't know, maybe Russia invades Ukraine. At the same time, there's a big convoy happening in the States, and then the news is talking about that. Trying to distract people from what's really going on. The real story.
Yeah, and I personally think that, I may not be right, but this is just my own opinion. I do believe that is more of like a scare tactic to take the attention away from the truckers and everything else that's going on in the world. And then, put war there, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, so Putin he is or he isn't, right? And Biden's talking about it, and the MSM are talking about it. So, okay. So they may or may not. You're talking about it, you're building it up a lot, like it may happen or it won't.
They don't have Michael Jackson.
What are they what's Putin waiting for? Maybe a convoy in the States? And then move in, and there's going to be all kinds of news about that. But you can't ignore this convoy, folks. Can't ignore this convoy and this movement. happening in Canada and now the States, around the world. It is what it is. It is what it is, Trudeau.
We gotta keep fighting the good fight.
Yep.
It's gonna take more than just the truckers, though. It's gonna take everyone.
Yeah.
They've done their part. They can only do so much, and you know they're saying that 90% of the truckers are already vaccinated. So they're saying that 90% of the truckers are already vaccinated. I'm wondering, like, you know, how much they scrambled to try to like replace these truckers that they fired, the ones that didn't comply, the ones that did lose their jobs already. I'm wondering how much they were scrambling to bring in people that were probably underqualified but had that vaccination. I've heard of other jobs where they normally require a degree or this or that, and they're basically throwing the regular qualification requirements out the window to say, okay, well, if you're vaxxed, come on in. So, you know, I'm wondering how accurate that is when they're saying, well, 90% of the truckers are vaccinated. You know, maybe there's some truth to that, but is that because they just hired, 50,000 truckers who are vaccinated that aren't qualified to do the jobs of the people that are now without a job? So, I mean, as you guys know, there's always a media spin, and I'm not here to tell you what it is, but I am here to question it.
Yeah, it's like all the COVID statistics of all the people in the hospitals and this many people and that many people. I don't know. I don't believe all those numbers myself.
We should just keep questioning.
Oh, I have one. I got something to say. All right.
Please.
Cool.
I wish. No, it's not funny. Well, maybe it's funny. Actually, it's kind of funny. Yeah, so I have a friend, and he's a bus driver in Pickering. And he lost his job because he wouldn't go along with the mandates. He wouldn't even wear a mask. He's that hardcore about it, right? So he ended up losing his job. But after he lost his job, his particular route, they experimented with like replacing drivers with like a driverless bus. Like this was actually done. And it was like his route, which actually ironically went to the mental home. And anyway, on the drive there, it crashed in front of the mental home in Pickering. And so they scrapped that, I guess, for now or whatever, right? But like obviously, like I think a lot of this, like in this whole Great Reset thing and all this kind of stuff, it's in part them sort of prepping or feathering the nest for the fact that they think that automation is going to replace the worker, right? So like another thing that they did with this was CERB, right? Like I took CERB for a little bit. I was off for a bit, right? And CERB is like a precursor to universal basic income, right?
Love you all. Have a great
and
weekend.
They're prepping us for like receiving universal basic income because when we're all jobless because the machines have taken our jobs, which they see as an inevitability, right? Like oh, we've got to go along with automation because if we don't do it, China will, and then they'll eat us alive or something, right? It is presumably like how they justify it to themselves, right? Yeah. Now, so it's like instead of having like a public conversation about the benefits of automation or whether we should go along with it or are there other ways, they're just gonna like ram through this kind of stuff. Is what I think they think they're trying to do with this whole pandemic as an excuse, right? So. But yeah, that's all I got to say. But God bless the truckers, and yeah, thanks everyone for coming out, and thanks for setting this up.
I agree.
You're right. It's not coincidental. The timing is not coincidental.
Awesome.
Event 201, right?
Yeah, every little small piece of the puzzle. We've had, various speakers show up today and give their 2 cents to that. It's a big, let's just say it's a big topic. So. It's tough to unpack some things, but you got to start questioning some things. I was just thinking about the automation, something funny, like, you go grocery shopping and you have more of those automatic self-checkout things. So I was next to an old lady who was just trying to use her card and shop for groceries and press all the buttons. And then when she got it all done, there is that robot voice that says, "Thank you for shopping at blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "Thank you." And everyone in the store laughed. It's like, you're talking to a robot. Like, I know. But it's already here, right? But I like your point. Like, there's benefits to technology that can help us. Who's all guilty of shopping at Amazon here during the last 2 years for stuff? Not me. But technology in itself is not bad, but what are we doing with it, right? And maybe this has to happen, right? To transform our job scenario, and maybe we could do other things that are more speaking to our hearts and minds. So maybe this is a necessary transition. If I think of my dad, who was a systems analyst in the 80s, he had a suitcase this big, which is a computer, which has a phone on it with a big wire. And I was a kid being like, what are you doing? Like, I am using the internet and calling your uncle. I'm like, that's what that thing does? And I'm on call all the time. And now we have this small little cell phone in our hand that does a million things, sends video and everything. So I've seen the whole internet world show up in my face, and I didn't ask for it, right? And as a kid, I'm like, I just want to go play outside now. Like, that's interesting, but I need to go outside. So, yeah, hug the trees, do what you gotta do, make a snowman.
You're here. Yes, hug a tree.
The helicopter is in the sky.
Speaker's Corner. Speaker's Corner, remember? Let's bring it back. You have a voice.
Yeah, for sure. If they wanted to, make artificial intelligence, I'm like, sure, go ahead. I mean, yeah, they want to make trucks drive by themselves. But when a winter storm comes, I mean, can these AIs really see what's happening to be able to allow the AI system to drive the truck up really steep hills and really narrow roads and consider the factor of other drivers and how much the price of gas is right now? It's like, I think the last time I saw it was $1.59 per liter. I thought putting gasoline in a supervisor's truck for $1.40 was a lot. I just couldn't imagine. It's $1.60 right now. I mean, without our truckers, we would lose a lot of essential workers. We would have a lot of people who would be jobless. And I think the AI systems that people want to create, I mean, they could go ahead and try to create it, but there's going to be issues. We need actual people. We need true patriotic Canadians who are driving our trucks, who have this career being truck drivers. We need to support our truckers. They're our heroes. We need to support every Canadian who are fighting against these draconian mandates. I don't think it's fair for any Canadian to have to go through any of this discrimination or segregation that we're facing. And I think our family and friends should consider that. The ones who have been under lockdown for a long period of time, they should come to see more truth. We should pray for them. We should ask them to come and stand up with us, to stand for Canada's Charter of Freedom and Rights. And I just pray that every day, to support the truckers and to support people who will stand up for their freedom and rights, because it's a God-given, blessed gift that we have freedom in this country, and that we're not in a totalitarian nation. We're not under a rule of the supremacy of the super powerful lording it over us. So
You're here. Oh, here we go. Here.
Hi guys, my name is Darren, and I agree with him that it is our God-given right, and I believe, I'm not really one to protest, but I feel like I have to stand. I feel like God is telling me to stand. I'm not really one to come out here and protest and have a voice. I usually sit back, watch, but I think we're in such a crucial time that it's needed for everyone. But I'm gonna read a prophecy. So God reveals things to his prophets to warn the people to what's to come and give them insight. So I'm gonna read a prophecy from 2017. It's from Hank Kuhneman. 2017, this is prophesied. So this is what I say to you, Canada. I shall reform you. I shall cause a fire to begin to burn among the youth, and even among the old who remember, O Canada of old. And they shall arise, and there shall be a movement that shall sweep from British Columbia to Quebec, And we know the convoy started in British Columbia, moved to the Quebec ways. So there shall be a movement that shall sweep from British Columbia to Quebec. And what has taken place in the United States, whether you agree or not, is my doing in the United States, and shall be my doing in Canada too. And there shall be a continuation, says the Spirit of God, of dissatisfaction among the people. Yes, you, Canada, that shall lead to a righteous rebellion. That shall lead to a righteous rebellion of votes. That shall lead to a righteous ruler, who shall stand before you, Canada, and shall speak by my Spirit. This is my promise, says the Lord. And you see this movement is with love and peace. And I truly believe God is behind this. And the Bible says love never fails. So, and if God is for you, who could be against you? And God is behind this, and we will see the righteous fruits, and we shall see a righteous ruler. It's just a matter of time.
Yes. Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you. What was the name of that? The person who wrote that again? Hank Kuhneman. If you guys want to.
There's another prophecy that was prophesied by Bob Jones. He's dead now, but he prophesied about the geese. Honkers. He said geese and the honkers. He didn't say Canadian, but he said there'll be geese and honkers that will lead the way for the eagle. And we know the eagle is America. And then I don't have the exact prophecy on me. Maybe next week I'll bring it. But it was prophesied that the geese and the honkers, no one knew what it was at the time, that would lead the way for the eagle. So these prophecies are coming about, and these prophets that I listen to have a track record, and so God will have His way, and we see it. We see it.
Wow. Amen.
Thank you.
Does anyone want to have a say? Please come speak.
Just a tiny comment again about the AI systems running vehicles like trucks. I mean, if it's a blizzard storm and they have that little like camera thing that's spinning on top the vehicle that's supposed to scan out and give sight to the AI system to know how to drive all these roads and streets and intersections and to stop and go and to make a right, to make a left, to go through traffic and see, like, for it to drive manually by itself. I mean, if it's going through a blizzard storm, I don't think it's going to work. I think we really need truckers, actual people behind the seat, rolling these big trucks out to distribute our products and services that we as Canadians pay for, and to get them distributed to our superstores, our supermarkets, our retail outlets, our small local businesses. We cannot just depend on the agenda that politicians are making to just enforce these new technological advances in society and try to just implement everyone to follow this sort of system that they're making. This is just something they want to experiment with, but I don't think it's good to experiment with people's lives on the road, nor is it good to experiment with these things without actually taking the time and effort to see if they even work to some degree. I think people today need to actually wake up and think about all the blessings and privileges they have in this country, and that things just don't come just so fast as they are. You know, we gotta look at things more clearly and to examine how we're going to go about with any advancement in our societies today. And yeah, like AI system can't do an oil change if the truck just suddenly breaks down in the middle of the road. You need an actual person to be there.
Who's gonna honk the horn for the kids?
Who's gonna honk the horn for the kids?
Yes, more on the AI. It's a funny term, right? Because just going to add to what he said that, you can't really have AI without humans because it's built on all the information that the humans came up with, but they're trying to promote it like it's the next best thing. But you still kind of need they can't have it without us. So it's kind of funny. Right? Anyone else have anything else to say? Yeah? He's on fire.
So I was at work. Like I bought this book, 2084 by John C. Lennox. It's intriguing that it came out in January 2020. And I think it was March 2020. I took like a 2-week break because I had some feet pain. I had like plantar fasciitis in my feet. It was very hard for me to stand. Sometimes I would have like 14, 16 hour shift. And I took 2 weeks off. I went to go chill with my friend Derek Kerouac in Collingwood. Right now he's in Wasaga Beach. And after I was almost done the 2-week break, I was going to go back to work. And my coworker, Ajahn, was like, I was trying to get Sunday night off because I worked night shifts at the restaurant as a dishwasher, young in college. And called the restaurant, spoke with Ajahn. I'm like, hey, Ajahn, can someone take my shift for Sunday night? And Ajahn said to me, oh, Simon, the restaurant's closed. I'm like, what? He's like, Simon, the restaurant's closed. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, restaurant's closed. Talk to Stan, okay? Ask him for your T4 slip, okay? I'm like, okay. He's like, you don't need to come to work. I'm like, all right. So, I mean, AI is helpful to a certain degree, but I'm so thankful and happy that people understand that it takes people to make an AI system. And there's 2 different types of AI systems out there. So yeah, I thought it was intriguing reading that from John C. Lennox's book that he published in January 2020.
So that book again, John C. Lennox, 2084? Oh, that's... Oh, there we go. So you might be in the world of Charles Eisenstein's, if you know that name. He's a very interesting person. Permaculture, mathematical mind. He wrote an essay about the COVID pandemic early on, kind of as a predictive guess as to what might happen. Anyway, yes. Is everyone warm still? Bringing some good topics here. And again, thanks for, every person sharing their voice and seeing how it's all connected. So yes, the truckers are doing their thing. And it's really, I can't imagine being a trucker myself, like driving a huge machine and then traveling for hours at a time and then trying to follow all the rules and, trying to help your families and, just get the real voices out, right? Instead of like demonizing people reading the media and like just going with it, not doing your own research. So I think that's what's helpful with today. So thanks for sharing it all that you can.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you. I'm not sure what we have here. It's been videoing us for a while. Would you like to speak?
Sure.
Take this and video you.
So I started a YouTube channel. It's called Truth Freedom Media. So I'll be out here every weekend covering all the footage. I spent some time in Ottawa the last couple of weeks. The movement is definitely freedom, peace. Yeah, we'll be out here videoing every weekend. So everyone subscribe to Truth Freedom Media, and you'll get the coverage. It'll be uploaded. God bless everybody.
Thank you so much. Great.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so I'm gonna be leaving soon with my buddy. I just wanted to say that it was a pleasure meeting all of you guys. Hope you stay strong, stay free, keep up the fight, keep it peaceful, keep loving. So anyone who wants to come say hi, I'm not going to say it over the megaphone, but if anyone wants my phone number, I'm terrible at communicating. Like I'm really bad. I'm probably the worst person to do that, but I mean, I will make an effort. Like if if anyone wants to know, I'll tell you what I know if there's anything going on or this or that. So come talk to me in private. I'll give anyone my phone number who wants it. Just be warned that I am terrible at that sort of thing. I'm the manager of a moving company, and I'm on my phone all the time, and I'm constantly sort of dealing with one fire, and I look at messages and then I jump to something else and I forget about them for a week. So I apologize in advance because I will forget about you, but it's not because I don't love you. But come talk to me.
Thank you, family. Community. Bringing community together. We are one big family. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. And that march was beautiful as well. That was beautiful. I can't think of a better word than beautiful. Beauty march, guys. Beauty march. That was great. Does anyone want to speak from our new group here? Frida! Yay! All right. Yes. I'm gonna have some water. Would you like?
I'm good.
Anybody? I think we may wrap it up soon. Thinking noon to 6 Saturdays and Sundays.
Sounds good.
We're gonna go for that. All right. Speaker's Corner. You have a voice. It's not about us. I just want to talk all day.
Hello. I just wanted to share something also that I thought might help that doesn't necessarily have to do with the political issues at large, but just something I do every day is at least fill my phone with positive media, like really like my favorite music that I love, and if you can fit podcasts onto your phone. So I wake up and you don't get the barrage of all the things that you don't get to think of before the phone throws it all at you. I'll go to all the positive music, things that make you dance, move your body around instead of sitting at the screen in horror and being like, oh my, what's happening? So if you can take care of yourself, remember to enjoy your life. We're going through difficult times. One memory actually right now, I have a friend in Ottawa. Is kind of worried because she lives in Ottawa. She was checking out all the trucker protests, but then I didn't hear from her for like 5 days. So I was like, I hope you're okay. But every time I asked her, I showed her a few screens from social media, and I was like, okay, this is what we're getting in Ontario, Toronto. What's actually going on over there? It's like, I don't think they like the fact that maybe we're dancing too much and singing and hugging more than we're actually like looking like how I guess the media wants us to look like angry and yelling to be right. So, if you know anyone in Ottawa, get the straight direct line, because it's better if you can do that, right? Go to the source of your information. So, and send your love and care to the people in Ottawa, because I have no idea what it would be like to live there right now. And it's really cold in Ottawa. So yeah, just take care of yourself also. Don't take on too much that you can't take on. Know when to say when, take a break, and then you can go back to it, right? Play an instrument.
Yeah, I feel like you're speaking right to me.
Yeah, I play guitar usually on the street and stuff, so I was just like...
What's important is not waking up, like you said, and then just right away going to the news or everything that's so negative right now, right?
Yeah.
So, I gotta work on that for sure.
Look into meditation. I'm a meditator, so You just watch the thoughts. So I'll share a kanji with you. Although I'm not Japanese, I can say a few things like the Polish joke. It's the joy of Canada. Like, tell me a joke in your language and see if I can test it out. But the symbol for center in the kanji, I believe, in Japanese, like, it's interesting having a language that is just so, visual. So it's like, well, why did they choose to make it like that? Basically, it's just the square, right? Like this. You've seen it on hats and people's basketball tattoos. And then there's just the line down the middle. It's a square with a line down the middle. And it's just, remember to be in your center, in your strength, in your sword, right? It's also like maybe sword. Like we have a bone here. I forget which one it's called, but basically you can, collarbone. This is a Qigong thing. You tap yourself in the collarbone to start relaxing yourself, calm yourself down. And a way to remember it is like, that's the sword, right? That's the hilt of your body. Stay strong, grounded in yourself, your soul. And then your spine is the sword. And then you walk your whole posture, just change your posture, right? No one can speak down to you or take advantage of you if you're seated in your soul, if you've ever heard that. So, I think, yeah, it changes your whole energy. Yes. Exactly. It's like your whole social norm or spectrum of the things you enjoy just kind of got uprooted. And I can say also there's healthy ways you can deal with your anger. And a lot of people feel like it's wrong to be angry or disagree. No one wants to be in that energy, right? But January 1, I go to my whole family. It's just like, I just have to say, it's not a happy new year. I'm sorry. Usually I'll just join in, but I just have to say 2022, I think we got to change this, right? I'm going to say, I'm not having a happy new year. I'm going to start talking, connecting, follow the rules for 2 years. So how much more are we going to do that? It actually doesn't make any sense on so many levels right now. So it was healthy for me to express that anger, because that can do something to you too, right? If you're holding that in, there was a constant state of tension, right?
Coming to these protests and coming here,
Yeah.
it's my therapy.
Exactly.
It is.
We're not here to yell at each other. Yeah. So, I mean, that's why I agreed to come here, because I know it could be mob mentality, high levels of emotion. I'm just like, are you okay, man? Like, we really need that from human to human, because that's the gift of the last few years. Like, maybe you're remembering you're a human being. You started reaching out to people you lost contact with because now you're stuck at home, right? It's like, I got that. People randomly calling. Who's calling me? It's like, oh, I just checked if these are your numbers still. I was like, I haven't heard from you 10 years. Thanks for calling. Yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah, you're alive? Okay, that's good. So, do that with your friends. Check in with your friends and family. It's a simple thing to do, and we don't get around to it. Right? And it's so heartwarming when you're like, oh, I heard from my friend or my brother, had a real conversation, heart to heart. Because we get so busy, right, in all things. Yeah. Tak. Dzień dobry. Dziękuję. In the kuchnia. Learn another language if you need another thing. Make the day exciting and new. Try to learn how to skate. I'm really bad at skating. I always fall down, but I keep trying. And try to embrace the country you're in, because I love Canada. There's so many things I haven't done yet. I'd love to go to British Columbia. I'd love to check out Saskatchewan. We had a nice group of people from Saskatchewan today sharing their stories, right? And it's a beautiful country, really, right? Like scenery-wise. So hopefully the mobility issue, really, it will get solved, and then we can start traveling, taking some good pictures of the mountains or something. Giant trees in British Columbia. What about that? they don't look real to me because I haven't really seen one yet, but that's something I would still like to do. So, okay, one other thing I'll share with you, just to help yourself, something you can do simply.
Thank you to all. We love you all.
Make a gratitude list, and visit that every day. Like, what am I thankful for? What do I like? What do I like doing? We don't always think about that. When you make it a daily thing, you're like, well, I'm having a hard day today, but I like all these things, and if I keep mindful of partaking in activities I like, then it doesn't like rain down on you so heavy, right? Because it's tough times. It might be more tough times ahead, but stay strong.
Thank you.
Canadien. Actually, I never thought about that before. The other guy, it's like, you're my therapy. I was like, I never thought about doing that in school. I chose graphic design, but literally the jokes. A friend comes to my house, he lies down on my couch, takes the therapy position, like, Jay, I'm here, ready for my session. I'm like, I'm not getting paid for this. What are you doing? But we really do need that, right? So there's so many ways. So many ways. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the information that we didn't know, and now we know so much more today. Wisdom, and everyone's a puzzle piece onto the big puzzle that is our lives. I still don't know who the guy on the horse is, though. People keep asking me who he is. It says King George the something donated to the statue, came from India. But I kept laughing when people were saying the high horse thing. I was like, this guy over here. Here's a high horse for you.
It's a good spot for this. Speaker's Corner. We're gonna have a good time. Step right up, have your say. Speaker's Corner here. Get your corners. I think the Speaker's Corner might be wrapping up. Hello. Good, thanks.
We love you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for today. Thanks for your patience.
Thank you.
It was a great march. Yeah, that was fun. And people joined us. All right. Does anyone want to say something before we go?
There's a really cool YouTube channel. I don't know if it's renamed, but I think it's called China Uncensored with Chris Chappell. I think he's a really intriguing person to hear what he has to say as a journalist. I think he's a journalist. I'm not sure. And when I was working at the restaurant downtown Toronto, I used to listen to him. I used to think, well, wow, I don't know if that's true about China with its totalitarian rules from its government. Hope it's not true. As my friends, they say, nah, that's not exactly how China is. Western media portrays something totally, entirely different. But, I think he has a lot of intriguing topics that people could check out.
Thank you. I hope you come back. All right. Great. Bye. Okay. Wonderful. Great day. Day 2. Family Day weekend. Here we are. Big movement. Big movement. Thank you, Canadian truckers. Thank you, Canadians. Because finally, Canada is finally standing up. We're rising up. March, march, rise, rise, march, march, rise, rise. That was yesterday. Big march. All right, thank you, everyone.
gonna end this
Thank you
stream.
for your voices. Thank you.
We'll be
So
back.
beautiful to hear everyone speak. Thank you. All right. See you next Saturday at noon. Thank you.